Today in the crypto space, we see the market getting a fat bounce to the upside. Bitcoin up approximately 7%, Ethereum up approximately 12%, and the rest of the crypto space, these altcoins are deep in the green. Some great gainers such as BNB, Dogecoin, Cardano, and many others moving to much higher levels. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one project that has been gaining good traction lately, and that project is called ONDO. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins. Looking for opportunity, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with this market. But, guys, we are seeing some real good price action the last little while. Obviously, just moments ago, we got a nice fat bounce upwards. Bitcoin doing pretty good, and we see Ethereum waking up, which is awesome, of course, for the altcoin market, because you can see the altcoin markets follow Ethereum's lead for the most part. We get a sense of relief when Ethereum does well. As you can see, a lot of these projects are currently moving to the upside. The real question is why. And of course, another orange swan event. Tariffs paused for 90 days for the world, except for China. Guys, obviously, there's a lot of things that we got to discuss. We'll discuss this a little bit more tonight at 8 p.m. when I'm live. But ultimately, this is what happened, guys. You know, these events, these orange swan events, definitely cause a lot of volatility. Sometimes to the downside, sometimes to the upside. And guess what? Today, guys, it was to the upside. Now, what I would always say with news events is take profit, guys. Take profit. Don't be risky. Don't risk your gains, because of course that's also not a good idea. You don't want to risk your initial investment. You also don't want to risk the gains. You got to protect those gains. At the same time, you want to have some healthy exposure to the market if this continues to the upside, because we don't know where the bottom is. And of course, we're going to talk about Bitcoin in a second, and then we'll take a look at ONDO chart. But the reality is nothing really has changed right now. Okay, so we got to be real about the changes that we're experiencing at the current moment, because nothing really has changed. Big picture, short time frame, bonus, awesome. Even fundamentally from a macro scenario, nothing really has changed, right? We know that we've been dealing with this on and off type of scenario for the last little while. Who's to say that we're not going to get more of this volatility? Okay, so guys, slow and steady, DCA, weekly, whatever type of schedule you want to put yourself on, just do it nice and slowly and accumulate those top dog projects, because they'll do very well in a recovery. As you can see, we're getting great recoveries. We have Solana up 13.3%. If you look at it, it's one of the better recoveries at the current moment. We have another good recovery, Chainlink, 14.5. These are great recoveries, right? Even Cardano's doing great, 11.5, right? You look for good projects, you're going to get those recoveries. Look at ABAX, 13.5. SUI, 13. HBAR, doing great. We have a lot of good projects right now, deep in the green. Hyperliquid, I've been telling you, I've been DCAing, I've been accumulating. Here we are, 23.8% to the upside, and there are many others to celebrate. And the reason why I want to focus on ONDO is because ONDO, at the end of the day, has been getting a lot of traction even prior to all this volatility. And I think that ONDO at the end could also, based on the real-world asset narrative, do very well. You know, especially as we get a little bit of FOMO into the price action, a little bit of hype happening, and then all of a sudden we start to see real good green price action. So ONDO is the project that I chose to talk about today. And as per usual, guys, if you have any that you're interested in, feel free to let me know in the chat and I'll put them in priority. All right, guys, you know, this is the overall sentiment. Today, green, we know why it is. Look at render, up 17%, guys. And I'm celebrating these because look, Sonic, 16.7%. Great bounce to the upside, guys. I didn't even notice Sonic was flying this way. Is doing great, guys. You look at this. Awesome stuff across the market. Portfolios are deep in the green. right now, even on the altcoin market. So congrats, but we have to be real. We gotta be real about what we're looking at here, guys. Are we out of the woods yet? Absolutely not. Guys, let's take a look at charts. I know you're here to talk about price action, so let's begin. Let's see what's going on with Bitcoin. Bitcoin at the end of the day got a pump, but nothing has changed. The only thing that I can say, it could be the beginning. It could be the beginning of the change of character that we're looking for. It could be the bottom. Obviously, when we talk about coulds, it's all about possibility, and possibility is what we need to estimate here, because there's no certainties whatsoever. We just collect data to get a bit of certainty as much as we can. And at the current moment, the only thing that I am certain about is that we're still in a downtrend. Let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. Now, of course, I want to celebrate all pumps. Guys, I love to celebrate the pump more than the next guy. But the thing is that we got to be real. I got to be honest and real about this current scenario. Guys, as you can see, we are respecting the trend still. It's not like we even broke a trend. And you guys know that I don't like trading trend lines anyway, because that's where you get, trend line liquidity. And a lot of new traders, that's the first thing they do is learn the trend lines. They put stop losses up here, and market makers love getting new traders wrecked, especially with these trend lines, right? So I don't really focus on that too much, but at least it's there visually to keep me in check. With the reality is that we haven't broke trend. Okay, and another thing that keeps me in check with that reality is that we didn't change character either. We came down for another lower low after this low, and we are still making lower highs after this high. And you can see we're still in a downtrend. There's no change of character. So what am I going to say here? I'm going to say, guys, until we change character, number one, first, we got to break a trend line. Okay, that would be nice. No guarantees after that. But once we break the trend line, we can look for the confirmation low, higher low, and then we can look for the break of this high, which will confirm a change of character here on the daily. Guys, on the change of character on the daily, would be absolutely epic. Now, it doesn't have to be so crazy volatile like the painting that I just did right here. Even the pullback, even a confirmation low could also, be in the form of a break a high where we break above this previous high, we consolidate a little bit, and it's some sort of flag, a quick exchange of hands for short-term profit takers, and then a continuation, which would be the same kind of thing here, guys. Would be absolutely great to see this price action do something like that. Quick move, even a bit of a retracement, and then boom. And that's what we want to see. But in the meantime, guys, we're not getting that. So what do we have to do, guys? For those ninjas out there, guys, congratulations. Getting into positions, long positions, short positions on the lower time frames is the way you gotta do it. Today on the Discord, I did post an amazing setup for this long. It went great. I unfortunately wasn't able to get into my entry. This is the name of the game, guys. That you don't chase green candles and all of that. But if you got into some green, guys, congrats. This is the day. This is the moment to totally benefit from this green price action. But keep this in mind. You're only profitable if you take profits. So if you're in a trade right now that is slightly overexposed, too risky, too much leverage, trail up a stop loss, take 10% off the top, maybe even close it in some green, guys. Be happy with the green and deploy it into spot bags, if anything, to keep yourself exposed to the volatility or to the asset. But at the current moment, the daily has done well already. Very, very well. Now, the resistance is here. Now, if we look at the 4-hour, you can see we're definitely at that resistance. Right into this level. This is the level where I would be worried about. Right into this level. You can see that we flew through the volume gap, and we're using this volume as resistance as we speak. Bit of point of control right in there. Guys, it's not time to be into fresh long positions unless you're willing to hold for maybe a retracement, maybe a sideways bull flag, and a worst case scenario coming back down all the way down here. We don't know. That's the reality. The daily's still in a downtrend, and we do not know what the orange swan is going to bring us next. And this is what we need to prepare for, okay? Because at the end of the day, we know the economy is going to recover eventually. The question is when, and how much pain do we need to endure in the meantime, and how much opportunity are we going to just, watch and go by as we see these prices fall. So this is why I'm not willing to lose out on any opportunity, and the best thing to do for that is to just DCA nice and slow, okay? So I'm kind of liking this. Even on the 4-hour, we got oversold, getting a bit of follow through. I expect some chop price action right here in the chop zone. around 50 and then go up to overbought conditions. And in the meantime, what we can try to do is snipe an entry in once we get oversold, maybe a bit of a dip, and then we continue to the upside. And that's where the real magic happens, because we want that change of character. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be looking for. And as per usual, guys, bring you the alpha on a daily basis. You know, these videos, these update videos, and the live streams will be there as per usual. Guys, if you're looking for a no KYC exchange with a decent bonus, decent trading bonus, with only a $250 deposit, you get a $50 trading bonus that you can use risk-free to not only trade, but to practice your trading, particularly if you're new and you're looking for a risk-free way to get involved and practice. Guys, that's an easy way to do it. Feel free to check out the links in the description below. I got lots of links there for you guys to take full advantage of. All right, guys, let's move on. Let's see what's going on here with ONDO. ONDO, at the end of the day, is one of those projects that I'm interested in, and it's because it's a large cap. I'm not here to take risk at the current moment. I've taken my risks. I've taken, you know, some profits, and I have also didn't take profits, and that's the reality of the average trader. You're in and you're out, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not, but ultimately on the average, what you need to do is be net positive. And I feel like right now Ondo's in a scenario to give us a net positive, you know, basically a net positive setup. As you can see where we are with the price action, guys, it looks pretty good here on the daily. We're hitting that trend line. Guys, you know I don't trade trend lines. I'm going to say that again. However, when you couple that up with the confluence with regards to the other horizontal levels, you can see that this is a very nice level. The volume right now is diminishing, and this level has to be protected by the bulls. If it does not get protected by this, you know, imbalance right into this level, guys, it's likely that we start coming down much more. But with the current you know, events that we've been seeing here, I can't expect the macro condition to pivot or to take any longer for this pivot. It's got to happen soon. And I think the market is digesting this and realizing that ultimately, guys, there's no more pain that the markets could actually endure before we get into a recession. And as Trump keeps on flip-flopping with these tariff ideas, we're starting to realize also that perhaps these tariffs were never meant to really stick. In fact, it was meant to shake people out of their positions. Right? This is what market makers do. So, you know, this is what maybe Trump is trying to do, is shake people out of their positions and get, like market makers do, get the countries speaking and renegotiating, even though the claims maybe were not meant to stick, right? That's the reality. And it could be very possible that he's just spoofing everybody. All right, guys? So I'm open for the idea that we could reverse very soon. And this is why I want to continue deploying. Today, Ondo's up 23%. Guys, that's a great gainer right now. However, I wouldn't be getting into any fresh longs at the current moment. In fact, Ondo was basically higher at one point. As you can see, we lost about a quarter of the position right now of the candle at the current moment, and we're trying to close below this previous resistance. Now, the candle close is so important here across the market, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever you're looking at the current moment. Focus on the candle close, or the daily candle close. That's going to close in about 4.5 hours, because if that daily candle close encompasses all the previous price action, guys, that's a bullish engulfing candle. That is a super bullish way to end the day. And I would expect that the bullishness, you know, continues in the next following days. However, traditional TA, given the current macro conditions and all these news events that happen, you know, sometimes there's crazy volatility before we actually see the price action continue in its proper trajectory. Even though we might be ready to run to the upside right now, and eventually we do, it doesn't mean that in the meantime we can't get some more crazy wicks. What I mean by that is, what about if we do eventually get our reversal and we start moving upwards? But it doesn't mean that we can't get another few orange swan events where we get this, you know, crazy, and then eventually start going. And, you know, at the end of the day, I don't want to completely deal with that. I want to expose myself to the market, but I don't want to expose myself to the risk of that type of volatility, especially with the lower cap altcoins. Although being a large cap will most likely still get volatile, never as much as a lower cap, but still, when you're in with spot, there's no risk of liquidation. The worst case scenario, all you have to do is hold on to your long-term convictions. And given where we are here with the price, you know, it's not bad to hold ONDO for a potential reversal that makes us get to about $1.50. that would be great. Not talking moon boy targets at the current moment. Obviously, we want a higher high, but if we get to $1.50, that's not bad of a move. I would be glad to take out any leverage positions off the table. You know, maybe de-risk a little bit, take 10% off the top, and then trail up a stop loss, and then see if we keep on going. Because ultimately, yes, if we do get a proper alt season, and of course, a lot of us have been talking about alt season for the last 2 years. If we haven't eventually, get it, yeah, we're going to see ONDO fly. That's the reality. We need to see the total market cap fly. Guys, the total right now is up 8%. I haven't seen such volatility into this market, especially with these inflows into the crypto space, in a good while. So it could be that this is the beginning of the bottom. The problem is that we do not know. And the problem is that with this volatility, we don't know if we can even get better entries on a quick sweep to the downside and then continue up for real, right? This is the issue with the current moment. So ONDO is at a good level to take a bit of risk and to DCA. You have to understand your invalidation is all the way down here, which is at about 56 cents. Great invalidation level. You're pretty close to it. I know this pump got you above the diagonal once again. And if your thesis is that, trendline liquidity gets hunted like mine, guys, it already got hunted. So if we can close the daily candle above the trend line, guys, it's looking good. And of course, if we can close the candle above all this price action, at least a good portion of it, there's a good chance that we're going to end up closing in a very bullish stance for a continuation to see this thing run upwards, obviously. And of course, the invalidation, if we break below, guys, who knows how low we go, but I would say my next target would be around 28 cents. Not a good look, because that's another, pretty big dip given where we are right now at 87. That would be absolutely crazy to see that happen. Now, a lot of us are worried still. I know the FOMO is there for this current pump, but the FUD still lingers. As you can see that on ONDO, on the daily, we barely got oversold. That is one of my concerns of going long right now and getting absolutely bullish, is that we barely got oversold, which means that the possibility is still there to happen. Now, since the possibility is still there, what we have to do is entertain the fact that if the risk we take to go absolutely long right now is that ONDO does get oversold, and then finally we break this trend. And that's the trend where I want to track. I want to track this trend, and I want to see a confirmed change of character here. A change of character is something that basically the price comes up, breaks the previous high, maybe in one go, maybe not, but at least starts making a higher high and a higher low. And that way we can get that change of character structure, that pivot point structure, to suggest that we are going to get follow through from the class A bullish divergence that we see here in the price. Let's take a look at that for a second here. As you can see, the price is dripping in a falling wedge, which is fine. And then all of a sudden you see this is diverging to the upside as the price is dripping. And we also see the trend oscillator giving us 2 drives of class A bullish divergence at very good levels of horizontal support. I don't know any other place where to be buying this, where the risk to reward ratio is at its best. And of course, the invalidation is so close by, and the DCA opportunities here. We could potentially see macro conditions pivot very, very soon, and we're going to see another orange swan event, and it could be super, super bullish. All right, guys, so it's not bad of a scenario right now where we are. The market is looking for a pivot, and potentially we might get it. So get that DCA strategy sharpened up and ready to go. All right, guys, so again, I'm going to be live tonight at 8 p.m. EST talking about crypto news and price action. If you have any projects that you want me to cover, that is a good time and place to make those requests. I'll put them in top priority. And join the Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.